following last week's closed-door decision to not submit a bid for the 2020 Republican National Convention. Councilman Greg Brockhouse requests an investigation into whether the San Antonio City Council violated the Texas Open Meetings Act. Texas Republican senators endorsed President Donald Trump's decision to pull out of the Iran nuclear agreement.
The United States no longer makes empty threats. When I make promises, I keep them.
And league sources say a Spurs assistant coach is completing a deal that would send him to Charlotte.
The Charlotte Hornets have found their man, making Spurs assistant James Borrego their next head coach.
I'm Chance Storlin with your Express Briefing for Wednesday, May 9th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. Councilman Greg Brockhouse has requested District Attorney Nico LaHood investigate whether the City Council violated the Texas Open Meetings Act. Last week, during a closed-door meeting, the body concluded San Antonio should not submit a bid for the 2020 Republican National Convention. After Thursday's executive session, Mayor Ron Nirenberg said the majority of the council agreed the cost of pursuing the event, an international spectacle that could draw 40,000 visitors as well as 15,000 members of the media, outweighed the potential economic impact that some have estimated to be as high as $200 million. After that meeting, both Brockhouse and Councilman Clayton Perry lambasted the decision. Tuesday, Brockhouse sent a one-page letter to the Bexar County DA alleging the meeting violated the Texas Open Meetings Act and requested an investigation into the matter. According to the state's Open Meetings Act requirement, the law also requires that no vote be taken or decision be made in private. Mayor Nirenberg maintains that the closed-door session was conducted within the scope of the law. While Texas Republican senators have endorsed President Donald Trump's decision Tuesday to pull out of the Iran nuclear agreement, a former arms control negotiator says pulling out of the deal is a big gamble for the U.S. AP correspondent Warren Levinson has more.
The president says pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal will encourage Tehran to negotiate a better one with the United States. Lori Murray, an arms control negotiator in the Clinton administration, now a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, says it might, but it's not likely.
It's obviously not clear if the gamble is worth it, but it's a high-risk gamble.
Murray says Trump's complaints about Iranian misbehavior not covered by the deal are warranted, but she doubts pulling out of it will get Iran to back off its ballistic missile development or its meddling in the affairs of its neighbors.
Senator John Cornyn, the Senate's number 2 Republican, says Trump was right to reject a bad deal negotiated under President Barack Obama and U.S. allies, with Senator Ted Cruz asserting that Trump acted boldly to assure the United States will not be bound by an agreement that advances the interests of an enemy committed to the destruction of our nation and our allies. But Texas Democrats disagree, including El Paso Democrat Beto O'Rourke, who's challenging Cruz in November. O'Rourke says via Twitter that although the Iran deal is far from perfect, it is a critical international effort to ensure Iran doesn't acquire nuclear weapons, and that the United States shouldn't be giving up on diplomacy. And Spurs assistant head coach James Borrego is moving on.
He'll be taking over in Charlotte for Steve Clifford, who was fired in April after 5 seasons with the team. Borrego has been an assistant coach in the NBA since 2003, working on the coaching staffs in Orlando, New Orleans, and then San Antonio under Greg Popovich. Borrego did serve as a head coach on an interim basis during the 2015 season with the Magic. He went 10-20 in his 30 games at the helm. Now, the Hornets finished this past season with a 36-46 record, which was good for 10th place in the Eastern Conference.
The move means the first full-time head coaching gig for the 40-year-old Borrego, who began his NBA career as the Spurs video coordinator in 2003. An introductory news conference is reportedly being scheduled for later this week. And that's your daily San Antonio Express News briefing for Wednesday, May 9th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. I'm Chance Storland.